Hey guys, Nalabyte here, and welcome back to Westward Dystopia, Part 2. So, before we begin, I want to apologize for not having this up yesterday. Some things have been going on, so hopefully we'll start having, everything recording and posted on time now, which I've been trying to do them every other day. So, okay. Now, if you guys remember in the last one, we had a showdown in an inn with somebody who apparently was coming after me, or who had a hit on me, or at least orders to take me somewhere. So, I believe we've just left the inn. Oh yeah, of course, it says it in the top. Okay. Anyway, you leave the inn and scout its exterior thoroughly until you're convinced yourself that all active threats have been dealt with. The invaders hadn't posted any guards on the exits, and their mounts appear hard-ridden, muzzles frothy, with a freckling of white foam, their coats matted with sweat. You shake your head. This was sloppy, unprofessional mercenary work. You'd seen worse in your day, but such low-tier mercs would have never had resources affording them this level of weaponry. That handgun. You've gone years in the wastes without seeing its like. Given the array of evidence, you speculate that this pack of wild dogs was assembled in a hurry with little regard for the quality of men selected. They were then tasked to ride to Randall in utmost haste with complete disregard for the well-being of their mounts. A good riding horse free of mutation is worth far more than a mercenary riding atop it. A well-financed rush job, then. Nobody could afford to risk losing riding stock these days unless they had money to burn. But who paid them? Who held their leash and gave the command to slaughter indiscriminately? Some of these words, I can say anti-disestablishmentarianism and spell it, but some of these words give me troubles. English what? Englishing is hard. The unanswered questions gnaw at you, and you can scan the horizon in all directions, eyes narrowed, and squinting under your raised palm. You dab at your forehead with the back of your hand, the relentless sun already causing you to sweat profusely. Your hand comes away dappled with streaks of red. The killing was a regretful business, but some dogs need to be put down. Wiping your hand clean in a thinly reedy clump of grass you passed by, you make your way to the nearby barn where your horse is stabled. You saddle your mount with haste, eager to take your leave before another rabid pack of mercenaries can descend upon you. After securing your few belongings in a pack strap, you're ready to head out into the wasteland once again. The worn leather of your duster snaps in a sudden dry wind, and rustles restlessly behind you as if anxious to get a move on. You gaze wistfully back at the inn you had briefly called home before you sigh regretfully and mount your steed. Where to go? Best to take a moment to think before bolting off in a random direction like a startled hare. You remove a large folded piece of parchment from deep within the front pockets of your duster. Given to you by the high lords of Benaron themselves, the documents feature a series of complex notes and technical diagrams. The Lord's technicians have spent the last several years salvaging small pre-raising cities and poring over meticulously translated ancient texts, slowly learning the secrets of electricity and technology. Ancient ruins of abandoned cities litter the landscape of the wasteland several weeks' ride apart. Many of these ruins are encircled by an invisible barrier which prevents entry. These shields, as the common folk call them, have somehow been in operation for hundreds of years, their power source unknown. The Technomancer's Guild has worked for generations to instill the fear that such ruins are cursed and must be avoided, all while quietly working to penetrate the shields themselves. Whatever treasure trove of secrets these cities likely contain could easily shift the delicate balance of power in favor of whichever faction breaches the walls of a shield first. While it's unknown exactly what awaits within unsullied cities, When one considers the marvels that have been pulled from unshielded city ruins, even after centuries of looting, both scientist and the Lord alike salivate at the idea of being first to delve into the forbidden caches of their ancestors. Your assignment, lest you forget in your flight, centers on both the scouting of a local city ruin and the retrieval of a very specific item. You have explored the wastes and townships surrounding the city and gathered information pertaining to the regional pre-raising installations. The papers and diagrams you were given document the most likely forms that a key to the shield would take based off the technician's research. They should make it simple enough to spot the device, should it actually exist. The Lords had made it clear to you that yours is a time-sensitive mission. Their spy network delivered several reports indicating that the Technomancer's Guild is close to cracking the secret of the shielding. With the working shield key and the inevitable weapon caches hidden within the forbidden cities, the Guild would become unstoppable. You have your doubts as to whether the Lords of, Benaron would be benevolent dictators themselves. You have a strong aversion to their rigid caste system. I don't know if I'm saying that right, and the way you treat their lower classes. But you must admit to yourself that they have a significantly better track record than the Guild. Plus they're paying you well, which always takes some of the sting out of doing distasteful work for the lesser of two evils. Your idealistic side, however, has considered simply destroying the key technology when and if you uncover it. Some powers are better left out of the hands of mortal men. Best to cross that bridge when you come to it, though. So, it's the Technomancer's Guild versus, what'd they say their name was? What was it? The Lords of Benaron? Did they actually say anything about what the two... I know that the Technomancer's Guild, I think they said a little bit about that in the beginning, but I can't remember if they said anything about the Lords of Benaron. I keep forgetting how I'm saying it, and I'm probably saying it wrong. The going has been slow, and exploration based on local rumor has yielded few results. On Dig's side a month ago, you were discovered by the Technomancer's scouts, and you barely escaped with your life. Oh, so it's pretty much like earlier, okay. Thoughts of the Guild in your homeland give you pause, and you hesitate, your horse whinnying to get you back on track, not knowing why you're on the move, only knowing that you have someplace to be, and the quickest way to get there is to get started. You bite your lip hard enough to draw blood. Steady your resolve. There's work that needs doing. I'm actually really liking this. I don't know if any of you guys are. I'm actually enjoying it. It has a nice little system. I wish it would give me a chance to use some of my med kits because my health is like really low. And I haven't really seen anything to show me where I can use my med kit, because we have 3. I'd kind of like to be able to heal up, and I don't see anywhere here that gives me that chance. So I'm wondering if it's static, like it gives you a chance to heal later, and if that's the case, we're probably going to die in this next one. Hopefully not. Where to indeed? It would be best to stock up on supplies in the small neutral territory trading post to the west before moving too far out of the areas you're familiar with. Aside from that, there are also 2 leads you feel are worthy of following up on. You've heard numerous rumors of a buried fortress with metal walls to the east nestled deep within the earth. Such a place may be an oasis, a hidden bunker from pre-raising times. Also, what's pre-raising times? Is it like after the world was put into disrepair and people went around looting? Hopefully it'll tell us more as we go. Um, Several of these bunkers have been discovered over the centuries, although the automated defenses were said to be fierce. Delving into their deepest depths has only been accomplished by the Guild once. An oasis would be a logical repository for the key technology necessary to open the city's shielding. Yes, the more you think about it, this is your most promising site to explore. Your other lead would send you to the north. There have been reports of mysterious happenings at what the locals believe to be a pre-raising military base 3 days' ride from Randall. Several travelers and merchants coming from the north have stopped at the inn and corroborated the story. You've heard tale of everything from mutant infestation to balls of flame and lightning flying from the top of the ground. Oh, I'm not sure I want to go near there. Sounds like as good a bet as any rumor you've been party to thus far. When I'm playing these type of games, I like to go prepared. Better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So I think we're going to go stock up. If there is one constant out there in the fringe areas of the wasteland, it's change. Nowhere is this fact more keenly apparent than in the middle of the hustle and bustle of the largest trading post in the northern fringe. A merchant might be here for a day, a week, a month, but very few set up shop permanently here. Stalls line the central throughway in a haphazard fashion, merchants calling from them, all eager to sell their wares to passers-by before their neighboring competition. The thundering din of the place somehow always manages to catch you off guard, and you cringe a bit inwardly as you accustom yourself to the frenetic, I cannot English, energy of the mass commerce at work. Given your recent discovery by the mercenaries, you make sure to keep an eye on anyone getting too close to you. It would be all too easy to find yourself shanked by a passing browser that you might not ever see. Fortunately, you tend to exude a natural state of what has been described to you as predatory grace, which has a remarkable tendency to cause crowds to flow around you, forming a small but useful bubble of space, which allows you to move freely and keep an eye on anyone willing to enter its boundaries. You browse the shops in an expedient. Again, I can say words like anti-disestablishmentarianism and spell them, but some of these words I just cannot say. Manner, and note a few of specific interest that might be selling items that would be useful during your journey. A merchant selling... Sorry, my eyes creeped up to see what made my noise. I lost my track. A merchant selling what seems to be higher quality armor and steel weaponry than most of the competition catches your eye, and you make note of him, as well as a few prominent food vendors attracting a pickier clientele, all of whom seem contented with their purchases. After a quick haggle, of course. There is an older man on the far edge of the market. Oops. Oh, well, hey, what's this? Let's see what this is before we continue. Hey, wait a minute. Oh, I found it. We're going to use a med kit because Oh, the med kit's only healed 2? Well, that sucks. So all I got to do is tap it. Okay. We're going to bookmark this page. I don't trust this. Ooh. Comes with music. Now it tells me. Here you all have just been listening to me when you could have been listening to the music too. We can find a nice mix. We'll do right there and see how that works. Where was I before I got sidetracked? I apologize. Um, there is also an older man on the far edge of the market, being all but ignored by the crowd of shoppers. He is attempting to hawk what seems to be junk scrap at first blush. Upon closer inspection, you realize these may actually be relics of old world tech. So, I think, because we have our guns, so weapons isn't a high priority right now, and I don't know if it's going to let me visit all three. So weapons isn't a high priority. Armor would be nice, take less damage. Food could possibly be important. I don't know if they have a food system in this, but it could also just be like the med kits, which we could definitely use some more med kits. And the relics dealer probably is something we do need to go to, but I'm gonna focus more on the food right now. Hopefully we can continue to shop after this. I hope so. There are a great many food vendors scattered throughout the market, although not all of them cater to the same clientele. There are stalls selling everything from quality meats cooked to order to dried traveled rations and everything in between. After a few minutes' observation, you approach what seems like the best vendor, selling a mix of hearty travel-ready fruits as well as dried traveled rations. The vendor finishes up with his current sale and cheerily waves the buyer away before giving him his full attention. "And what can I get you today, sir? Planning an expedition? I have everything you could need right here. You don't want to get caught out in the waste without food or water. I think we've all heard a personal story of someone lost out in the wastes. It can happen even to the best of us, am I right?" The man chatters away while casually removing a headscarf and replacing it with a newer, liberally dampened one. The previous scarf now dried out and useless for its intended purpose until it is wet again. Closing his eyes and exhaling contentedly, the newly refreshed merchant smiles and gets down to business. It would be a good idea to buy some rations since you plan on exploring locations that could be several days' travel from here. Hunger on the run can lead to making bad decisions, and bad decisions can lead to death. See, so it was a good idea we came for food, just in case. Fresh fruit can have a rejuvenating effect on the body. Fruits act the same as medkits when used. Yes! You have enough food and water for a few days, but if you run into trouble, extra rations and water could prove invaluable. Oh, we only have 16 gold. Well, that sucks. Travel rations, 5 gold, water skin, 3 gold, and fresh fruit, 2 gold. Acts as a med kit. I think we'll go with... You select a delicious looking bunch of fruits and pay the vendor for them. Placing them carefully in your pack, this meal acts like a med kit and can be used to regain 10 health hit points. You continue to browse the food vendors. I think we're going to get one more just in case. I mean, we have 4 now. So, and that just says the exact same thing. We're going to leave the store. You complete your business and secure your belongings, ready to move along. Where to next? Let's approach the relics vendor. And then if we get something from him, which we might end up needing, then we can see if we have enough gold to go get us some armor. If not, well, we'll be screwed and we'll use more health kits than I thought. But we'll see. Towards the end of the long row, not narrow, although it could be narrow. The long row of vendors, you finally come into a sprawling layout showcasing everything from old coins and figurines to jewelry and artifacts of long days past. A banner prominently displayed above the shop declares, "Where rarity is common," in large, bold lettering. The shop's proprietor is currently rummaging through a deep wooden box behind the counter, oblivious to the general comings and goings happening around him. Oh, excuse me, that was a hiccup. You clear your throat as he pokes his head out of the box and flashes you a smile as he readjusts his wide-brimmed hat and peers at you through a pair of preserved spectacles. "Welcome, stranger," says the man in a thick drawl. Oh, welcome, stranger. See, I'm from Texas, but I can't do a thick southern drawl on command. I hide mine most of the time, and I've gotten so good at hiding it that I can't really draw it out just on command anymore. It mainly only comes out when I'm mad or really talking about something I'm passionate about, like coding or something like that. Or when I'm drunk. If I'm drunk, then it tends to come out too. My ex-boyfriend loved when I was drunk or mad because he could sit and listen to it. The man says in a thick drawl as he reaches down behind the counter to pick a small dog up from the ground. "This is Fifi, and I'm Dawn. I specialize in anything and everything rare. If you have the gold, I have the time. I also buy, so if you happen to be carrying any rare antiques older than those revolvers beneath your coat, or other than those revolvers beneath your coat, I'd be happy to give you fast cash on the spot for them. I also buy gold in bulk. Exchange prices are at a 20-year high. He smiles absently, as though reacting to a private joke that you weren't in on, completely ignoring the fact that he's just dropped a bomb on you. You quickly check to ascertain whether or not your revolvers are properly hidden in the folds of your duster. How had the old man... Don't worry. Dawn leans forward and winks in an exaggerated fashion. I just have a knack for firearms. Your secret is safe with me. In all of your years of adventuring across the world from the waste to the high-walled cities of Benaron and Root, you have never once come across anyone outside of the guild or mercenary group that knew exactly what your weapons were, much less that they were revolvers. You cinch up your duster more securely and hitch your holsters further back to keep them from exposure, silently cursing yourself for being so careless. Are you guild? Dawn asks you, opting for directness. You don't strike me as the type, or I wouldn't have said anything. You shake your head in response, and the man seems to rise a bit as though a load of tension just flew away from his shoulders. So what can I do for you today for a fellow hunter? I have a few items you might find very useful somewhere around here. He rummages through stacks and boxes before arraying some extremely interesting items before you that you never expected to see out here in the wastes. Electric torch, 3 gold. Laser sight, 5 gold. Plastic explosives, 6 gold. I don't know what any of this does. The electric torch is probably in case you go into the dark. I'd say laser sight would be for better accuracy. Plastic explosives is probably just plastic explosives. I don't know what we're going to need here, though. That's the thing. Please ignore my wrestling. I'm getting a cough drop out. We have 12 gold. So, do we spend it here and get one of these, or go buy armor? Maybe we should have hit the armor first. Plastic explosives would be really nice. They'd be really nice. Better accuracy would definitely be really nice. The electric torch... I don't know. It might be good to have one, just in case we get stuck somewhere that we need a torch for. So we'll probably pick that up. The electric torch, eh? Dawn grins as you heft the weighty, cylindrical device. Now this thing is a joy. You be wary of how much you use it, though, because it has limited power, and these power packs inside don't last forever, and it's useless without them. These are my last 2 packs. Dawn opens the end of the electric torch with a twist. So it's a flashlight. Electric torch, wow. With a twist, and shoves 2 cylindrical power packs into the device before shutting it. You mean batteries? Just wow. I do like how they're having the different names for it. It's kind of amusing. Now just flick the switch, he demonstrates, briefly illuminating the wooden countertop of his stall, and you'll be able to see in the darkest of places. I'd say you have roughly 30 minutes of time on the charge there, so use it sparingly and in good health. Anything else I can interest you in? Well, we only have 9 gold, and I really don't think we should spend it here. I think we should go and check out the armor stall, just in case. So yeah, we're gonna go check out. You complete your business and secure your belongings, ready to move along. Ask Dawn to exchange raw gold for spendable currency. Do we have raw gold? Let's check. We don't have a gold nugget. Oh well. Well, we know where to go when we find it. And to the weapons and armor next. You approach the weapons and armor vendor, and he looks you up and down before blowing out his mustache and leaning forward intently. He's a tall, well-built fellow, and you consider it probable that he forges his wares himself, unlike many of the middlemen selling lower quality goods for smiths that couldn't be bothered to stand behind their own craft's quality. The smith proffers you his hand. Is it supposed to be proffers? I could see it being offers. Maybe, I don't know. See, that's why I get tongue-tied during this sometimes, because some of the words I just don't expect to be there, and the words that I'm expecting next are not what it is. Huh. His hand in a good-natured but brisk and businesslike handshake. I'm not saying that this is, in any case, badly written. It's actually very well written. I'm actually really, really surprised. Most of these choose your own adventure games on Android, most of them are, they contain tons of grammatical errors, and it bothers my OCD so bad. So it's actually really nice to find one that, you know, is actually fairly good. Okay, not fairly good, but really good. There was another one that was actually pretty good. I think the original developer is a he. Yeah, it's a guy. He actually has it where you can email him if you find a grammatical error, or there was one time I emailed him because in one of the stories, it was a zombie story. I love zombie ones. But in the story, there were 2 of you, I think. 2 of you on this boat with these people that had captured you, and he threw in a 3rd name, which wasn't supposed to be there. You had left that person behind a while ago. So I had to message him about that, and he actually replied and said thanks and all that. You know, he was super nice. I may play some of his later if these Choose Your Own Adventures go off good, because his are really good. He has a team of writers. I think he does some of the writing himself too. I'm not 100% sure. And he may have other developers. I'm not 100% sure. I just know that he's the one who takes care of most of the verbal interaction with the customers or users or players, whatever you want to call them. And his app is actually pretty cool. It's got, like, I think last time I played it, there was like at least 10 different stories, and each story, well, almost every story had multiple books to it, and you could play through each book, and you get scores and little achievements and stuff like that. I mean, it was really fun, and the stories were really good. So if you guys end up liking the Choose Your Own Adventure type things I've got going on right now, then we might do some of his too. Not to say that we won't continue to do, you know, the horror games and stuff like that. We'll mix them up and stuff. But, you know, if you guys enjoy the Choose Your Own Adventure games, let me know in the comments below. And I'll do some more of them after we get done with this one, if you guys want me to. So anyway, enough of my blabbing. Let's get back to the game. After we get done in the stores, I think we're probably going to end it because we're coming up on 30 minutes now. And I try not to keep these very, very long, because it just takes forever to upload with my tablet. Okay, not upload, but to render it, because I have to merge this actual video with my intro and then my end card. So it takes a while to render the video afterwards. A 30-minute video takes me a good hour, anywhere from an hour to 3 hours to render it. So I try not to keep them too long. You have the look of a fightin' man, he says to you, cocking his head to the side and sizing you up. Not very well equipped, but I know a fightin' man when I see one. I can get you what you need. My prices will be higher than most of these other fool peddlers, but I stay behind my goods, and I make every piece with my own hands. Oh great, now I start doing the slightly southern. You'll find no higher market price than quality, you'll find no higher quality weapons and armors in the market, he says with a strong sense of genuine pride, bereft of the smug self-satisfaction you have often noted in swindlers. You have a feeling that goods purchased from this vendor will stand up to whatever you can throw at them. It is unlikely that you will need the swords, given the offensive powers of your revolvers, but a knife is always versatile and handy if you left yours back in Randall, which we did. We went for the med pack. Kind of cursing myself about that one now that I know I can buy them. But hindsight's 20/20. Body armor of any kind would be an excellent choice as well. Remember that body armor bonuses are not cumulative. That's another word I always have trouble saying. As only one set can be worn at a time, only the best set applies its bonuses. Every point in defense will automatically reduce damage dealt to you by 1 every turn. So we've got knife for 3 gold, leather armor for 5 gold, and ring mail armor for 9 gold. And we have 9 gold left. Good thing I didn't buy anything else. I'm guessing they don't do penalties like in D&D, even though they seem to be going off the same style of battle and currency system, kind of. So it doesn't look like they do restrictions for armors or penalties. So we could be cheap and get the leather armor, which will take 1 point of damage away during battles, for 5 gold, still have 4 gold, and we can go get 2 more med packs. Or we can get the ring mail armor, which will give -2 damage in combat for 9 gold, and just do with our 4 med packs. Our 4 med packs give us about 40 HP. I think I'd rather have the leather and go get some more med packs just to be safe. You pick out a simple yet elegant set of versatile leather armor, which the vendor obligingly allows you to fit and try on before you finalize your purchase. While a bit snug at first, a few adjustments of the numerous buckles and straps have it fitting as though it were made specially for you. Oops, no, not that. The craftsman looks pleased as he takes your payment for the armor. It's not every day I see someone who knows what he's doing with a good set of armor. So many people want gaudy embellishments and don't even know how to fit it properly. It's nice to do business with a professional again. I keep hitting that. The armor's defense score is +1. If you find or buy another set of armor, you will remove this set and replace it with a better set using only its bonuses. Armor bonuses are not cumulative, since you can only wear one set at a time, which you already told us. No. Oh, I can't hit it. Okay, fine. Yeah, we've already been through this. And we'll buy 2 more fresh fruits. And we have no gold left. But, at least, you know, we're good. Still can't do anything here. Yeah, we're done with shopping. Have you been to the market before? This is your first visit here. Uh-oh. Contented with your purchases, you work your way slowly out of the crowded marketplace. The vendors are busy today, and the throng of peasants and merchants alike, pushing and shoving, is one of the largest concentrations of humanity you've seen in recent years outside of the few major cities where you typically avoid whenever possible. Once you manage to break free on the outskirts of the crowd, you unsling your backpack and take a long swig on your remaining bottled water, pausing briefly to enjoy a moment of damp in spite of the vicious, unrelenting sun before heading back out on your expedition. Roll perception difficulty 3. Oh, this is cool! They even got... Oh, this is so cool. Oh, here we go. 4. Ha, we passed. You roll perception and let the gods of fate decide. We succeeded. You know, it's a good thing we saw this. You notice a group of 4 rugged-looking men pushing their way through the crowd towards you. Just because this is a battle, I think we're going to go ahead and do this one, and then we'll end the video. As they get closer, the leader shoves 2 shoppers to the ground rather than wait, his goal becoming more and more obvious as he gets closer. He's coming for you. Realizing that they've been noticed, the group drops all pretense of being average browsers, and on the word of their leader, all unsheath gleaming short swords as they advance, less than a minute away from you. Try to lose yourself in the crowd, stand your ground, and fight if you have to. I think we're going to try and lose them. There's too many people in this crowd, and that would probably get hurt if we fought, because I have guns. So I think we're going to try and lose them. Worst case scenario, we have to fight. You push your way through the crowd, dexterously slipping through from traveler to traveler, getting your fair share of irritated looks, but not creating any significant commotion. A flashed glance behind you shows that your pursuers, while still a way behind, haven't lost your general direction and are still pushing forward in hopes of catching up to you. You reach a crossroads between 2 bustling avenues of shops, both of which are thick with shoppers, horses, and wares on display. You spot one of the marketplace's armed guards down the path to the west, where the crowd is thickest. You may be able to reach him for aid if you push through the crowd fast enough. However, the path to the east, while bereft of possible assistance, looks easier to slip through unnoticed. There are far fewer people, and the shops are more widely interspersed. Okay. I already know where I'm gonna go, and here's my logic behind it. Yes, east is going to be easier to slip through, but that means it's going to be easier for them to slip through, which means they can catch up. Because there's more of them, I'm thinking they're going to be kind of together. Whereas me, you know, in this last one, I was making my way through at a decent pace, whereas they had to shove people out of the way. Yeah, it'll probably cause some damage to some of the onlookers if they get shoved out of the way. But I think it'll be more beneficial to go west because it is a thicker crowd, which means I could probably get lost in the crowd if I don't end up having to request the aid from the guard. I could probably at least get lost in the crowd easier. So with that being said, we're going to go, I think it said west. Yeah, we're going to go west. 4 against 1 is a poor man's bet, no matter what the advantage you have with your firearms. You're not sure how seasoned these men are, but they look rough enough to know the business of dealing death, and they are well armed. Best to look to the local authority for assistance, to at least try to even the odds. Oh, I knew I should have had this thing plugged in. Sorry about that. By the time you push your way through the tightly packed crowd, earning more than a few angry glares and epithets, that's probably not how you say that. Epithets? I don't know. Epithets. I'm just going to say epithets. You guys can yell at me in the comments. And reach the guard, you've already attracted his attention. The guard scowls and reaches out to catch you by the collar, hauling you into a small tent behind him just as your pursuers catch up. Oh boy. The guard follows you into the tent, and surprisingly, your assailants come in right after him. Okay, I screwed up. Good work, boys, the guard remarks in a rough, gravelly tone. This one came right for me, just like the others. Okay, well, you're not the reason why I went this way. I went this way to get lost. I just didn't have that choice. The 4 men leer at you and laugh. You've fallen right into their trap. Cursing yourself for a fool, which I even did out loud, you produce your revolvers with a rapid flourish while backing away slowly from the advancing attackers, hoping to ward them off. A moment of consternation passes over your assailants' faces as they pause to look at your guns with failing comprehension. The moment passes, however, and they continue to charge. You learn one thing about your attackers from this. They aren't guild, and it is unlikely that they were the ones sent to track you. Why they have singled you out, then, is a quandary, but one best pondered later. You must fight. Yeah, you guys get your fight after all. Okay, we have 1 grenade. We're gonna attack. 4 and 4. One? What the hell? Oh, we gotta start getting more hits. Oh, phew. And look, we're back down to 7, which is where we were before. Battle is concluded, and we won. Never bring a knife to a gunfight. You believe the old adage you'd heard back during your training went, and it certainly held up today. Your last remaining assailant dead by your hands, you take the time to breathe and really look around you. While attempting to keep a physical distance between yourself and your attackers, you unintentionally moved into the edge of a busy row of merchants and customers, all who are now staring at you, mostly open-mouthed. Quickly realizing your mistake, you holster your guns away and out of sight and hold up your hands in a placating manner. As if some kind of stasis had been broken, the crowd as a whole shifts from being stuck in place agape in wonder or fear to a screaming, retreating stampede. The few figures moving in the opposite direction, towards you, are easy enough to pick out, the marketplace guards. And things had been going so well. You dive behind a series of abandoned merchant tents directly behind you and work your way around in a twisting, convoluted pattern between kiosks and tent booths in an attempt to shake pursuit. You're not entirely certain what the guards will do if they catch you, but you're not sure if you'd like to find out. Hide in the back of one of the clustered tents and wait, and double back around the marketplace to your horse. Okay, well, we've already figured out that Nalabyte has horrible choices, so I'm not entirely sure. If I hide here, they might find me. Because if I was a guard and somebody, had just killed people, granted they don't know the real story behind it, but if somebody had just killed people and then escaped, I would probably comb the area. I think we're going to double back around to the marketplace in our horse. You zigzag your way from tent to tent, hunched over as much as you can while running to keep a low profile as possible. You slowly manage to worm your way back to your horse while outmaneuvering your pursuers, ending up in a tent-like shopping structure by the end of the row of shops closest to your horse. Poking your head out of the tent, you quickly ascertain that there are no guards nearby and slowly and methodically slip your way around the eerily quiet marketplace to your horse, which is thankfully unguarded. Mounting up, the extra height of your mount affords you a better view of the marketplace, and you note that most of the shopkeepers and customers have gathered at the opposite end of the market, although some are beginning to filter back, presumably on the word of the guards that the peace has been reestablished. Not wanting to be here when the crowd gets back, you get a move on and head out, back into the wastelands. What do you know? One of my choices actually paid off. If you choose to head east, where you have heard rumors of buried fortress, if you wish to ride north and check out the military base, if you have means to enter the city and wish to do so now. Okay, that one's X'd out. I don't think I want to go back in there anyway. I'm trying to remember what they said. I think they said the military base had mutants. So I don't think I want to go there. At least not right now. I mean, yeah, we're a little better off than we were, but not completely. We're gonna use a med kit. Yeah, I think we're gonna go to the buried fortress in the next video. So yeah, I'm having fun with this game. The story is interesting. I like how it's based off of D&D type encounters, such as, you know, the perception checks and how they fight, damage dealt, how the armor stats and stuff like that. It's really interesting. I love D&D so much, so I'm really liking how they're doing this. You guys should totally check it out if you want to play it on your own. It's actually really fun. I'm really enjoying it, and I hope you guys are too. But I think we're going to go ahead and end this here. I want to thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed it, mash that like button like it's on a controller, and feel free to comment and subscribe for more content in the future. And as always, I'm Nalabyte, and I'll see you all in the next one. Later!